Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another fun episode of Hotel Talk. Today, I have the fabulous Elizabeth Friedrich here with us, who, if you don't know her, is an artist, a fashion designer, and the art director of the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce and the founder and organizer of the Red Diamond Awards. Elizabeth, welcome to Hotel Talk, and thank you so much for joining me in this studio.
Hello, Farah. Thank you so much for inviting. And here it's such a great atmosphere. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, it's fun. I told you we started off by just saying, let's do a podcast. And literally we had this, like a tissue box with a microphone on the top. And then we just entered that rabbit hole of like, we need better mics. We need to do soundproofing. We need to do the lighting, the videos. So it's been a fun journey.
Always is the best to start with idea. When you have an idea, it's slowly you start to make it better, to look better, to sound nicer. So I can understand. It's really great.
Oh, thank you, my dear. So why don't we start with you telling everyone a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you ended up in Cyprus, and what you're doing.
Yeah, I born in Armenia, in Yerevan. From my childhood, I like very much to sing, to act, and my dream was to become a singer, by the way, or an actress, but also the painting. And I like to write comics and everything. This is how I start my career regarding the art. So yeah, I had a very beautiful childhood. It was great memories. I remember all the details. Sometimes when they ask me questions now, like before 2 days, what you did, I cannot remember. But my childhood, I can remember even the trees, the colors.
Tell us a bit about Armenia. What was it like growing up?
Armenia, I love Armenia because there is very warm atmosphere. People, they like to give love to each other. The friends, they are like, you can call them anytime, even 5 o'clock in the morning, to ask them like, I'm not feeling well, and they will just stand and come to support you. That gives a lot of warmth, which sometimes I miss in Cyprus because I will not feel comfortable to call anybody to say, just please come, I need your help. But even now, when I go to Armenia, I feel this warmth that I can call them, I can speak with them. They are always there for me. That's really, I miss.
Yeah, this community.
Armenia.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And have you not found that here in Cyprus, maybe with other Armenians? And because we do have not as many, I think, as we once did, but there are some.
Yeah,
there is a community of Armenians here, I think.
There is a big community. They have churches, they have schools, and actually they are doing really very well. The thing is, because they are mostly in Nicosia.
Okay.
And I am Armenian from Armenia. Their community from different, like from Lebanon, from Syria, Armenians, during the genocide and after the earthquake. So I do know many Armenians and I love them, but unfortunately it didn't happen to come to that point that you can feel this kind of friendship. But of course I'm friends with them.
Yeah. Oh, that's so lovely. And did you have brothers, sisters, close family? How was it? What did your parents do?
I did had a sister. Unfortunately, we lost her with a car accident when I was 13, and my life became like before 13 and after 13, because before that everything was so bright, everything was so good, and my parents was so well. And of course, after when they lost their child, things change immediately. My mother, she's an artist also. She's also was doing very nice sculptures, ceramic ones, and even some of them was in museum. But after when she got married, my father didn't let her to work anymore. He was very jealous, Armenian and German man, so it was a mix. And my father, he had a factory when they was making silver kind of products with silver. They was working with silver. Yeah, so I can say I'm from artistic family. Yeah.
Definitely. Sounds like it. Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your sister.
Yeah, thank you.
But I do understand when you say your dad is a different generation. They didn't, a lot of men, in the older generation from many different cultures and countries didn't want their wives to
Yeah,
work.
my father, I mean, I see many couples, I see they love each other, but my father, he had kind of fanatic love about my mom, even when they was like, he was 60 something. And when I wanted to go somewhere with my mom alone, he was like, you can go alone, but leave my wife alone. He was so much in love with her, even in that age, which
Yeah.
was okay. He was very jealous, but at the same time, it's so beautiful to stay so many years married and to look at your wife as an icon. And
Yeah.
that was the great part.
Oh. So what happened then that led you to Cyprus and, into fashion and then to be involved with the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce? So how did all of that unveil? So you had your childhood in Armenia that for the most part was very happy. Obviously, then you experienced a deep tragedy in your life with losing your sister that can only imagine you needed so much strength and wisdom and courage to overcome. What then happened that led you here to Aphrodite's Rock?
That's a bit very long story, but I will try to make it with a short way. So when I was 20, I decided that I don't want to work for nobody, and I don't like to ask money from my parents, and I want to go by my own to create my steps, small steps. So I started with atelier, like a fashion house, small, to create my clothes and to. I had one employee that time, was my first employee, and we was creating small kind of collections, like 15 pieces of couture. And after I start
But
to
why fashion? I mean, how did fashion? I know obviously you're from a creative family and you yourself were an artist, but how then did you get into fashion?
That's a
It's
funny part because when I said to my father I want to become a singer or actress, he told me, "Okay, when you leave this house, you will become a singer." That was for him. I don't know. He didn't wanted me to be singer or actress. For him, it was something like not good.
Yeah, well, I imagine if he's very old school and doesn't want your mum to work,
Yes,
a lot of the old school mentality, they considered that career not as
not accepted.
prestigious. Yeah, not as prestigious. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
maybe more
absolutely.
questionable. Yeah.
But the funny part, before I used to sing all the time and I was even recording and everything. After that day, because we had a guest, when he told me, if you become a singer, you can. So after that, I never sing again, never in my life.
Oh,
It was like,
even now.
no, until even when we go to karaoke, it's like my voice goes somewhere very deep.
Oh no, I'm
And
so sad to hear that. Right,
yeah,
Elizabeth, we've got to work on you. We'll get you singing. Come to the
yes,
hotel and sing once a week.
of
That's
course.
it. That's it. Elizabeth, everyone, you've heard it here first. Elizabeth
Yeah.
Friedrich is going to be on weekends at,
That's gonna be
at the
nice.
Captain's Bar.
Oh, it was
You
really my
should. You should
dream.
reignite that dream and that passion.
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I'm thinking to maybe start, but this start it's so hard. Even in
Well, because of the
karaoke.
knocks of your confidence that you had,
Yeah,
you know.
that's why after that I stopped. So I start paintings and the fashion. I cannot say exactly what's happened, why I chose. But I felt that I like to see this moving art, women. I was enjoying when they was wearing my clothes or the shoes. So
And it's quite a big leap to be a young entrepreneur and have an employee of your own. I mean, that in itself is huge when you're starting out and you don't have the backing of someone else's money and wanting to be independent. So definitely, I can see courage coming up over and over again in this story. Okay, so that you started that, you had a few collections.
yeah, I start to. I could say I become very successful in Armenia. We was like always in TV shows, fashion shows. A very nice company of friends. But at the same time, something was bothering me. Idea to come to Cyprus, it was like I wanted to make zero myself, because in Armenia, obviously I had my house, everything. Still, you are in comfort zone, and you can find help, and your parents can help. And I wanted this challenge to go to one country that nobody knows you from that level, and to become zero again. I wanted to see if I can make it. The Cyprus idea, I didn't know actually Cyprus, what is about, where it is. I knew where it is, but I didn't know what lifestyle they have, what's going on. But because I had some few friends here, they said, come on, you can come to Cyprus and you will see. But even I changed the city where was my friends staying. So it was a big
Were they in
challenge.
Nicosia and you
Yeah,
decided
and
to come
I
to
came to
Limassol?
Limassol and I stayed totally alone, and I didn't knew nobody. I was home alone.
Well, Limassol definitely, in my humble opinion, is the best town. So you chose well.
Yeah.
But that's so interesting. I'm really intrigued as to why. So why did you want, first of all, that challenge? Why did you want something completely new when you'd already established yourself? And maybe what were you running from or what were you running to?
Yeah, sure. The first thing from my childhood, I was dreaming to live where is sea. Unfortunately, we used to had sea, but because of the war and everything they took from us, so we don't have anymore. So I love it so much. And my again, when I was a child, my father bought house in Georgia in Babokvati. We had a house front of the sea, and for me it was something beautiful when you sleep and you hear the waves of the sea. You wake up, you see. It's kind of different energy. And sometimes when you go too fast to become successful, you lose many other things. Sometimes you can act not how you should act. I don't know. I start to feel like I don't want to be that style. I want to start again with the same time to make my ego to be different. I wanted to be more human. I wanted to feel how it is to be somewhere nowhere, that nobody knows you, that you have to start new job, maybe in shop or anywhere, just to start. So from there to go there, it's big challenge, and you start to work with your soul and with your ego, and you start to see things different. And I can say I'm very proud of myself that I did that, because I completely changed that time. And my first job, I remember, because I spent all the money with what I came, because that time it was difficult to find, and I cannot start the fashion immediately. You have to stay to live. So I found a souvenir shop to work. And I remember the 13th day when I was working there, the owner, he came in, because I went to break. I was in stress a lot, because it's something that I never did. I never worked for nobody. And when he came, I saw his face. I start to cry without saying anything. I just saw his face and I was crying like crazy. It was so
Just because of your stress and the emotions and
because I never knew that people can talk like this to you or to act like that. He was very weird person, I can say. And because I never experienced such
yeah, being in a bubble, in a homely, friendly culture and environment, and suddenly coming here,
yeah, my
new
father
country,
never
yeah,
even let me to go to supermarket. So he
yeah.
was doing everything for us. For me, the first time in my life I went to supermarket alone was in Cyprus.
Wow.
For me, it was a huge challenge to take this
Yeah.
and to go to. It sounds funny, really, now for me, but that time for
But
me
it was a big
to,
thing.
yeah, it was a big thing that you never did nothing. Okay, I was doing my job, but this kind of small
Yeah.
things that
Yeah.
I
Growing up,
never.
growing up in an environment, a very loving environment, but with a strict and overprotective father.
Yes.
And in a culture that's very friendly, very family orientated, and suddenly moving to a new country on your own, Yeah,
And
it's
it
huge.
was, yeah, so after the 13 days, I stopped that job. I understood, and
It's
that
not for
time,
you.
all the lies, I was like, I'm sorry, I have a problem with my leg. I cannot. I was finding all the excuse just to not come next day, because I felt that when you do something that you don't like, you are destroying your soul,
Hmm.
you are destroying your ego. You don't want to wake up in mornings. I don't know. Maybe that's also one good lesson for me, that you have to always follow what makes you to love to do, that to wake up with pleasure, to maybe sometimes we work like 18 hours, but we don't feel because we love what we do.
Absolutely.
And that scenario, it was like 8 hours, but these 8 hours for me, it was like hell.
Mm.
Yes.
I can imagine. Definitely, because it was such a far cry from anything not only that you were used to, but that you wanted to be in your life and get out of your life. So then how did that develop? How did you get back to maybe art and fashion and
Okay, I will jump a bit
yeah.
because if I go, it's really many funny stories. The after I become sales manager in one construction company, but of course I would like to do their logos. I like to do the kitchen, and I was doing by hand nice kitchens and everything. So I was like manager for everything, and we become very good friends with owner. I can never call him boss because he was my friend. And one day I did paintings at home and I had with me, and he called me for something to talk about the business and everything. And he said, "What you have in your hand? So many papers." I said, "Just drawings." He took my drawings. He said, "From where you got these drawings?" I said, "I did, and it was for fashion." And he was like, "What you mean you did? You know to do this?" I said, "Yes, I do." And he said, "What you are doing in my office?" I'm like,
Working.
because I'm working.
Earning money.
and and he told me, "You are fired." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Yes, I will pay all this, I mean, for your salary and everything, but you don't deserve to sit in this office if you know how to do this beautiful art. How you can sit in this office and destroy your time and your life like that?" And I love him so much. He
Wow.
pushed me, like, he really fired me. He told me, "You have to go and start to do your own um, steps
Yeah.
in Cyprus." That's
Yeah.
how
Follow
I
your
start
dreams.
for. I went to Dubai, I went to Italy to buy materials, to Lebanon, many countries to bring new things. And that's how I start my first collection. And because also I organize my events, my fashion shows, and I always was doing big shows with the message behind. I never was doing just a catwalk.
Yeah.
I
Just the
wanted
models
to
there showing
give,
the
yeah, I
clothes.
wanted to give a message and that's how I met my friend Mila. So she told me, "Can you help me with the chamber, the gala dinner to organize?" So I start with that way with Mila to help her with
Hmm.
artistic part, entertainment. And after when Mila got married and the chamber suggest me to continue to work with them and to become a art director and to create these events. So for Red Diamond in 2016, I had a fashion show which called Women Power. I was always wanted to support women. I wanted to know, like, if any woman sitting at home now crying or feeling bad, I wanted to give this message, like, each one can stand up and start. So this show was about that in 2016. I did with Kifa, with Stella Michailidou, we did in Golossi Castle. It was very beautiful with horse, and it was really such a nice message. And after, when I start to, I will jump again. When I start to work with Chamber, I feel that I need to do something good for women. And because mostly this kind of events, unfortunately, they are very corrupted. I mean, if this is somebody have money, they become winners. And I wanted to create something that never nobody can buy. And because I am with the chamber, nobody can buy chamber. And except chamber, we have always different jury members, which you was also last
Yes,
year.
yes.
And and in beginning, I was thinking they have to sit all together in Red Diamond, jury members. But after I said, no, I don't want them to sit together because maybe somebody will
Yeah.
say something,
I'm
this
going to go for
girl.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
wanted everybody to sit
I liked
in
it that we
different.
weren't, and we didn't even know who else really was a jury member. It wasn't
Yeah.
like having a panel, and it was a discussion. And we just came to the event. Like, I obviously saw a couple of people I knew who then I found
Yeah.
out they were on the jury, but we weren't sitting together. We weren't influencing each other. We voted on the night. It was all done so well. And yes, I know many, many, many events and award ceremonies that are bribed and triggered, and it's all about the
Unfortunately.
advertising, and it's not genuine. But I take my hat off to you. The Red Diamond Award is as genuine as I've ever seen any award ceremony ever.
Thank you. We really try. Of course, after each, unfortunately, we have only 4 categories. And I believe all of them, they deserve, but it's only 4. I was even thinking to give to everyone, but we discussed with Chamber. They said, no, you have to leave it like 4 categories, that's it. But for me, all of them, they are winners.
They're winners, yeah.
Yeah. And if you, because when you come in this kind of events, there is you think maybe I will lose, but to go for it, for me, she's a winner because she stand up and she go even though she know that maybe she will not win one of the category, but she's winner anyway. So I and with the chamber we really try not to have this idea that they can buy or they can, but after each Red Diamond, even the second one, I was like, I will not do this anymore because it's so unfair. I try so much to be so transparent to nobody can buy or say, and still there is rumors that because of this, and that rumors was really hurts me
Hurtful.
because I was working like maybe 18 hours every day for this event to happen, and this event for all these ladies, not because we don't know who is the Red Diamond from before.
Yeah.
So we
You don't know
organize.
who's going to win it. Yeah.
Of course, no. Even me, I'm like waiting like a baby, the last minute who will become a winner. Because even me, I don't know. But I never wanted to be in jury because I become very in touch with all of them. And in the end, I don't want to do personal choice.
No,
it's wrong.
No. And because you know a lot of them and you're connected, maybe then they'll say, but why wasn't I? And it's a different jury every year, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be 4th year now. We will do 16th of June.
Yeah.
And the 5th year, it's going to be...
And anybody can go. Anybody can get a ticket and attend the dinner.
Yes, the ticket they can buy.
To
they
go
have
and
to
enjoy
apply
and,
for the form. Yes,
Yeah.
and the nominees they can only if they are a member of one of the association, one of our business association.
Yeah.
And until 10th of April they can apply. After that is the deadline.
Yeah, it's amazing, and it's really a beautiful event. Again, we go back to Hotel Talk. Of course, it takes place in a hotel in Four Seasons. And lovely meal, lovely event. There's always great entertainment. And Mrs. Andrea Anastasiadis, the First Lady,
always
was
yes.
there. Yeah.
Anita Dimitriou also. Yeah, I'm happy that all of them, they support us. We're so thankful for that. And even our winners and some of even who didn't get any categories, they are in so nice a relation with us. That's the most important. I believe the ones which they was acting not really nice, I think they cannot be a Red Diamond. My opinion, Red Diamond is not only that you have a business or you have to have many other
interests and missions and purposes.
Humanity also, how to act as a lady. That's very important.
The name, where did the name come from? Red Diamond.
Red Diamond, I was actually in beginning was thinking a black diamond, But after I was start to search in internet, I wanted to find the unique diamond, which is not so easy, and it's only 7 red diamonds in the world. So I said, must be a red diamond because we are looking for a diamond and unique diamond. So the idea to be red diamond because there are not many in this world.
I love that. And also the theme, isn't it? I think everybody wears either red or white or...
Every year is different.
Every year it's different.
Every year
Okay.
I change.
You change it. Yeah, I have to laugh. So I think, was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I came and I had my, dinner, fine. And then when I was leaving, I think I saw Mariana Rosette, who's also been on this podcast.
Yeah.
And she was like, Farah, why are you wearing that color? And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, is the light weird? Like, you're not in the theme of that year.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's a theme? I had no idea. And I was there in my ball gown feeling like, yeah, but I was noticing maybe it was white. And I was like, why is everybody in white this year? And I was in like a very dark color. And I was like, is there a fashion that I don't know about? And, all the dresses happen to be this.
I can tell you from now the colors of this year, it's black, deep purple, and gold.
Oh, nice. So I love
but
these colors.
only nominees, they are allowed to wear red, no others. So
okay.
only nominees can
All
be.
right.
So this year will be more fatal style.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So we've spoken a little bit about your journey, but I still want to go back to that same question. I said the drive. I'm so interested in where that comes from in people because everybody has a different story. Okay, your dad, maybe it was your father, like telling you like you should be home and you should and would have, could have, should have. But where did where do you think your drive comes from? Because these are big steps. I mean, this is not something that everybody grows up feeling. I mean, you were happy, you were in a nice environment, and still you wanted to jump in the deep end and swim out and put yourself in difficult positions and really prove to yourself, to the world, what you were capable of. And you did it in Armenia, and yet it still wasn't enough. You went to another country. And where do you think that energy, that passion, that drive comes from?
I think, I'm sure, I think is a freedom. I always was fighting for my freedom. Even and my father, he was a lot about to close
Control.
My freedom. And the same time when I got married, the father of my daughter, he was like trying for me not to study, trying always to make kind of like to cut my wings. And I remember I was like 17. And he was getting ready to go for study.
How old were you when you got married?
16.
Wow.
I know.
But I guess but a lot of people...
I'm happy because of my daughter. We are friends now.
And you had your daughter how old?
I was 17.
Amazing.
Yeah, now I'm happy. But of course, that time you are a child, to have a child, of course, I will never advise this to anyone. You have to be mature to become a parent. You have to know many things before you go to that step, because you have to teach your child. They are like spoon, they take everything. So you have to be very careful. Each word you use front of your child, you have to think before you talk. Generally, the words are very powerful. Even with the couples, you have to be very careful. Like when you are in your emotions, you are angry, still you have to find 1 second to think. Better not to say this word now, better to leave the room, but not to hurt, because these small words can destroy all the love and break all the nice walls between you. But in the end, when people don't love each other anymore, they're surprised. Why? What's happened? We love each other so much, and suddenly we wake up and we feel nothing. It's because of the words, that we never give attention to words. But it's the most powerful thing. So that day he was getting ready to go university, and he didn't let me go to my father. He said, "You no let her to go university. There are guys behind her," and something bad things. So he was getting ready to go to university, and I was in bed looking at him, and I said to myself, I will never let anybody to cut my wings, to tell me where I have to study, where I have to work, what I have to do. And from that day, my freedom became for me the first.
You took it in your hand, that autonomy, that
Yeah,
that
that's
right
it.
to
That's
be in
it.
control of yourself.
Yeah, because I had so many
And you were 7.
dreams.
How old were you?
I was
17,
16,
18?
16 17.
Well,
So
no,
we
but
just married.
when this, yeah,
17.
yeah.
I always was fighting for my freedom. Believe me, even from my very, very childhood, I was fighting for that. But that day, because this picture is front of my eyes, that I said that's it. And even now, when I feel that somebody tried to close me or cut, no, I cut immediately because this is on block list. Finish.
So despite all of that, though, you still managed to set up your fashion business. You still managed to. And how old were you when you divorced?
We was in America, and I come back when I was, I think, 18, 19.
So
I
really
came
young.
back to go back, but the things happened with the war and everything. I couldn't go back, but I'm happy for that it's happened. That time I was thinking it's bad, but now when I go back, I understand that if I stay there, I will be another housewife and with unhappy housewife because all my dreams will be in my head, and after I will start not to respect myself, that I couldn't, and slowly I will hate him because he didn't let me to do what I wanted to do. I will start to blame people around me, but the first person you have to blame is yourself in any scenario. Whatever happened, we have to blame ourselves and not to find faults in others. If I don't sing, for example, I believe it's not my father's fault. It's because I didn't had this courage to do it, to fight for my dream. So in everything, in the end, I blame myself. I don't like to put any faults to anybody, whatever happens.
We're in charge of our own destiny.
Exactly.
I couldn't agree with you more. But I do admire you because for a lot of people, it's not that easy. It wasn't easy for you, and it's not easy for me, but for many people, they struggle with that. And your words are so wise, and I'm sure they penetrate to so many people who can identify with that.
I wish.
You mentioned the war, and I would like to, however painful that is, to discuss a little bit about what it means to be from a war-torn country and environment, to see so much of what was familiar be taken from you. There's so many people all over the world that experience this. And I think it is important that we touch on it and then also touch on your courage to move on after that. So if you can share a bit about your experience and your views.
I can say we was lucky, my family, because we was in Yerevan. Yerevan is a bit far from Karabakh, where is the war and this sadness happening until our days. And unfortunately, the media, they speak only about what they need to speak. They don't say that it's 81 days now in Karabakh. They close the roads, the kids are hungry, they are dying, they don't have any pharmacy. But unfortunately, nobody talks about that. It's only small mentions about that, but it's 81 days. These people are there and nobody can take them any food. They are sharing piece of bread to each other to eat. And I cannot understand why media can talk about wars in Ukraine, in Russia, and they cannot speak about things that are happening. And also for Syria, many wars that it's horrible again, it's sadness. And if you ring the bells, you have to ring the bells for all the countries. It's not nice to say for one country and to live
to prioritize or favorite.
Because in the end, because of this kind of actions, you start to not believe in news anymore. I don't watch news anymore, and I don't want to watch because I know that I cannot find the reality from there.
The whole picture.
No,
the whole,
the picture is the media in one day can make people to love you, and the second day they can make to hate you. And fortunately, people, they don't want to think by themselves, most of them. I mean, they don't try to search to see what's happened, how it goes, why it's happened. No, they just see whatever news shows, and that is the truth. And that's why we are where we are. I mean, even for our planet and for the animals that you are trying so much to fight, because they don't go deeper. That's the sadness. And for my country, of course, especially this 3 years is tragedy. We lost a lot of our young soldiers. I can say whole generation they killed by Azerbaijans. And when you go, you can see this sadness. Doesn't matter from which city you are, but this sadness, because imagine so many thousands of soldiers died, and so many mothers stay without their children, so many wives they stay without. I mean, this is tragedy, and I wish, I think if all of us, if we can do one drop, not more, one drop, we can change the things. We can change a lot of things. Because again,
one drop is the ripple that goes
yeah,
on.
we blame politicians, we blame Putin that this, the other one this, but why you don't blame yourself? Actually, what you are doing for this planet, what you are doing for your country, you sit and wait, but why you don't do anything about this small thing? I mean, drop, just a drop.
Well, recently, I'm not sure if we mentioned it on this podcast before, but there was a very nice proverb I heard from a French person who said that there was a fire and this little bird was collecting water in its beak and taking it to the fire, one drop at a time. And another animal went to the bird and said, "What are you doing? Like, there is no way that these small drops in your tiny beak are going to put out this fire. You know, you're not doing anything." And the bird answered, "But I'm doing my part."
Exactly.
And isn't that so true for everything in life? If everybody did their part, if everybody tried that little bit more, if everybody gave whatever they could to charity, whether that's money or time or attention or media support or whatever, and we all just tried a little bit. Okay, my thing is always try not to eat animal products. Try to do. You don't have to be full vegan, but do
Just
a little
try.
bit. Just try and do a little bit. It will all make a difference. If we're just that bit kinder, if we're careful with our words.
Yeah, and for the words, like, I don't know, now many years I follow that a lot.
That philosophy.
Yes, the words are, even the simple person, like, if you can say nicely, say nicely. Because if you see when in college the one kid take the gun and go shoot everybody, why it's happened? There is a story behind.
There's a story.
Because they was bullying him, they was making fun of him, saying to him bad words, and one day he just exploded.
Yeah.
This is how happened. Like, maybe one man will come and say, "I like you, can you go?" And when you say with this rude way, you never know how this person will take and what he will become after. So why not just to be kind and to use nice words?
Kindness.
Kindness.
So
yes.
that's our slogan at St. Raphael, radiate kindness.
Yes.
And it's so true. It's costs nothing.
Especially in our days, we need more love, we need more kindness, humanity. I don't know, I start to feel everything become like robotic style. It's not like before, even the friendship, many things change. But we have to keep these emotions, this love, this kindness, to help each other, to support each other. I think this can save our planet. This is what I believe.
Amen. I agree. So, last question, which I don't know, I'm asking everyone, but I love it. So, do you have a favorite book, a favorite quote that you
My favorite
use?
quote, it's "Be, don't become."
Be, don't become.
Yeah, I love very much Osho. I like his books, but with the books, each age I am changing. I cannot
Absolutely.
say I
What
read
applies for 1 year, one stage of
ex-
your life is something
exactly.
different. Yeah.
Every time is change, but I like very much quotes because that's from the life that have deep meaning, and it's
Yeah.
in only one sentence you can
Yeah.
understand many
Yeah.
things.
Be, don't become. Yeah. Inspirational, motivational, everything. Right, my dear. So the bonus question from our team in our
Yeah,
crystal bowl here.
I want to see.
Right. What did you get? Sometimes it's written who asked it, but not on this one. Oh, that's nice. Tell us your biggest dream.
Oh, I have many dreams. Let me find the one. Okay, I think the one more I would like to happen, it's about cats.
Oh,
I want to build like kind of nice house for the cats because when I'm driving, I see so often that cats on the road, and every time it hurts me a lot. So I was thinking, in Cyprus we have so many cats, and they don't have homes, they don't have food, and they are on garbage, and I mean all over the world, of
yeah,
course.
but here it's
But
a
here
lot.
it's a lot, and I think they do a lot of things for Cyprus, good things,
Good
and we
things
have
and
to
the
take care.
snakes.
So yeah, I think it's one of my dream to kind of support cats to have this nice house for them. One of them.
Oh, that's so nice. We do have a few cat sanctuaries in Cyprus.
We do.
We do, but yeah, we have a few, but they're overwhelmed. I mean, they can't possibly take more.
Yeah.
And the problem is the neutering. We have to try and neuter as many as possible. And they're all, charitable or volunteer organizations, and they can't sustain themselves. So, yeah, it's quite difficult to.
But I never found any number like when you see some cat, it's
No, well, they
already
can't take
alive.
them.
You want to help, like they are in road. So I don't find any number where I can call and ask to come to.
They can't take any more, the cat sanctuaries. They're literally full. So, yeah, it's
That's
nice
sad,
if you'd
yeah.
open another.
I wish it's gonna happen. So this is one of my dreams.
One of them. I love it. Wow. I get excited whenever I hear people who have this huge empathy for animals. I'm always like, the beginning of veganism. Because then
Yes.
what's the difference between a cat and a cow or a
You
pig
have
or a chicken?
absolutely right. I was thinking always about that. Like we judge people who, like in China, for example, they eat cats, or we judge
Eat
them.
dogs,
But
yeah.
actually, like, what is the difference for the cow? Okay, maybe they are different pets, but at the same time,
the animals.
it's
Just one
animal.
is
Yes.
for some reason considered a pet, and the other is.
Yeah, but
Then,
I
yeah.
know many people who have like different kind of animals.
Pigs are cleverer
pigs.
than dogs.
Yeah,
They're cleverer.
absolutely. And my friend who had a pig, he was telling me when I was going home, he was waiting me, he was making
Yeah.
the tail. And so I think we just put in our mind, okay, this is dog and cat you cannot eat, but the rest you can eat. But generally you cannot eat none of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. There's a nice book on that actually. It's called why we eat pigs, love dogs, and wear cows, something like that. And it was a PhD
Yeah,
study.
it's
But that's for another time and another podcast.
It's another time, yeah.
Elizabeth, thank you so much for this time with us, for sharing so many truths about your life and such an inspirational story. I know that the listeners would have gained a lot from today, and I really appreciate it. We wish you all the best always.
Thank you very much. Also, I'm very happy to be here with you, and what you do, it's wonderful. Not only this, you do so many things, and I'm very proud that I know you, and women like you are so powerful and doing so many useful things.
Thank you so much.
very
Thank
much.
you, my dear.
Thank you.